Namaste and hello. Welcome to the Art of Yoga project. My name's Jerome. Thank you for taking the time to show up on your mat and practice here with me today. We're going to be going over a pigeon workshop. So let's get started. Let's start by sitting up nice and tall. Ground both sit bones into the ground. Take a deep breath into the belly, fill the chest, and exhale through the mouth. Another deep inhale, allow the spine to get tall. And as I exhale, keep that length. Press the belly button through the spine. One more time. Inhale tall. And again, exhaling, pulling the belly button into the spine. Good. Now let's move on to shoulder shrugs. Keep your length in your spine. I'm going to inhale, bring my shoulders up to my ears. Exhale, shoulder blades back and down. Inhale up. Exhale, back and down. Good, 3 more. Inhale, nice and slow with the breath. Exhaling, taking your time. Last 2, inhale. Exhale, drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Good, we have this nice opening in our chest. Keep breathing into this space. Very nice. We're gonna move on to standing. Excellent. And we're just going into arm swings. Just back and forth with your breath. Few more deep breaths in. Good. All right, next. Side lunges. So starting from feet hips distance apart, I'm going to take a deep breath in and exhale, side lunge to the right. Inhale back to center, side lunge left. Deep inhale, exhale. Just start to move around on your own breath. Just making sure on the exhale, I'm lunging out to the side. And on my inhale, I'm coming back to center. Just a few more here. Just waking up. Okay, good. Now check your feet again. We're going to go into a side squat. So, hands can be in front of the chest, elbows in. I'm going to take a deep breath at center. I'm going to squat to the side on the exhale. Inhale up, exhale squat. Inhale up, exhale squat. Just moving with the breath, just like the lunge. Step out, exhale squat. A few more here. And last one. Good. All right. Now, we're going to take a nice wide stance with our left foot. Step out, point the toes out forward. Deep inhale. Exhale, fold over the front leg. I can rest my hands on my knee, my shin, or my ankle. And using the exhale, I'm going to bring my chest over the top thigh. Make sure to keep that front leg straight, push through the right edge of the right foot. Good, one more deep breath here. Inhale, come up. Turn the right toes out to face the side. Left toes come back in. Lift the chest. Exhale, back down. Same thing, nice deep breaths. Allowing the spine to lengthen on the exhale. Last time, deep breath. Inhale, come up. Turn the right toes back in. Check your stance, nice and wide. I'm going to take a deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands plant out in front of us. I'm just taking a few deep breaths, releasing my low back. I think earlier I said lengthen on the inhale. I meant exhale and go deeper into the fold. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold deeper. Now, take your right hand, push it into the ground. Inhale with the left, open the chest. Exhale, back down. Inhale, right. Exhale, down. A few more here. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. Inhale, right. Exhale, down. Good. Go ahead and come up into our 3-part breath, our breath of joy. 2-part inhale, 1-part exhale. Here we go. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Exhale, down. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. And exhale, down. 2 more. Inhale, 1. 2. Exhale. Last time. In. Up. Exhale, down. All right. Wonderful job. You guys can come have a seat. All right. So today we're going to really focus on the pose pigeon. Now, pigeon pose is a popular pose in yoga classes in general, but I typically use a lot of pigeon in my classes. It's a great hip opener. So when we use it, I'd like to make sure that you're comfortable while doing it. I want to make sure that you're safe while you're doing it, that you're not going to get hurt. And I want to make sure that we're doing it right so that you can relax in the pose. So, we'll come back to that. Let's go into a quick check-in. Our check-in question today is, how are you feeling? How are you feeling in your body? And how are you feeling emotionally? Good. Now, we're going to talk about something called the midline. The midline is an imaginary line that goes through the top all the way through. It's just a straight line from top to bottom. Okay? That's the midline of your body. Now, when we do pigeon, we're doing a little bit of rotation in our legs. So when I rotate in my legs, it's going to change the angle of my hips. So we always want to have our hips facing forward and square. The way that we do that, we're going to use an internal rotation. So when I'm in pigeon, I'm going to rotate the top of my thigh into my midline. So we'll call that an internal rotation. If the top of my thigh is to rotate out, then it will be an external rotation. So for pigeon, we will really want to focus on the trailing leg, the back leg that's straightened out behind us. That's the leg that we're going to rotate internally. Okay, so let's start on the back, just opening up the hips before we get into pigeon. We're going to go shoulders on the mat, legs out straight. I'm going to use my breath. Inhale, lift my left knee. Grab the knee, hug it in. And I'm going to use my exhale to lengthen this hamstring in the back. So deep inhale, tall spine. And as I exhale, pulling that knee into the chest. On the next exhale, release. Inhale, bring the right knee up. Grab the front shin. Exhale, drawing that knee up towards the chest. Good, last 2 breaths here. And exhale, straighten out the leg. Good. Going into a figure 4, we're going to stretch the back of the hip. So I'm going to plant with my right foot. I'm going to take my left ankle over the right knee. Now my hand goes on the knee. And as I exhale, I'm just pressing that knee away from my chest. One more deep breath. Good. Bring that left foot down. I'm going to take my right ankle. It's going to rest on my left knee. Take your right hand, press the knee away from the chest as you exhale. Two more deep breaths. And release. Go ahead and come up. We're going to go into a butterfly. So once you've sat up, I'm bringing the arches of my feet together. I'm going to wrap both ankles and pull them into my pelvis. As I breathe in, my chest lifts. And as I breathe out, my knees start to work their way down to the ground. So just a little breathing with our movement here. Inhale, lift the chest, pull the ankles in towards the pelvis. And as I exhale, my knees come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, grounding down. Last deep breath here. And exhale, let it go. I'm going to kick out my right foot, keep the left foot in towards the pelvis. Now, we're going to go into a forward fold. So I'm reaching for that right ankle. Remember, when I do this, my left needs to stay grounded into the ground. I want to use my breath. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold deeper. So we're going to try. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bring the chest towards the top thigh. Last 2 breaths. Good. And release. I'm going to pull that right foot back into my pelvis. My left leg comes out straight. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Two more deep breaths here. Alright, so pulling that left leg back in. I'm going to do a little bit of a stretch. Normally we do a twist from here. But what it is, my right leg goes out straight, my left foot comes over the top of the knee, okay? Now, all I'm gonna do is take my right hand, or my right arm, into the left leg. I'm just gonna pull it into my chest. So my stretch is gonna be in my hamstring and my glute on the left side. Let's try again. So my right leg is straight. My left foot is going to go over the right knee. Okay, now I'm just gonna hug. So I'm gonna take my right hand, hug my left knee, and I'm gonna try to pull my chest towards the knee. Two more deep breaths. Nice tall spine. Exhale, pull in. And exhale, release. So I'm going to show you on the left side. So my left leg is straight. My right foot goes over the top of the left knee. Now my left arm is going to hug the knee. I'm just going to pull it into my chest. Let's do 3 breaths. Exhale, release. Good. All right, so our hips are nice and warm, nice and open. We're going to go into pigeon. So let's go from plank. I'm going to inhale, bring the left knee up to the left wrist, and start to walk my right knee back. Lower that back knee onto the ground. Good. Now my hands are in tight, close to my pelvis. Now, We talked about the midline, and we talked about internal rotation. So to get that internal rotation, my left foot needs to flex into the ground. So where my shoelaces are normally on my shoe, that top part of the foot, I'm going to point my toes, and I'm going to drive the top of my foot into the ground. Now what that does, I'm going to start to slide my right hip forward. Good. Now the hips are square. I'm going to start working my internal rotation. Keep engaging that left foot into the ground. I want to take the top of my right thigh and start to turn it in towards the midline. Now you're going to feel the right hip slide forward. That's good. Now I'm making space in my hips. Now my spine can get up real tall. Okay? So, checklist is this. I'm driving my top left foot into the ground, and I'm internally rotating my right hip, my right thigh in towards my midline. Once this happens, I'm pushing with my hands off of the floor, and I have a nice curve in my low back. Inhale, into the chest, lift. Exhale, pull the belly button into the spine. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to make some adjustments here. Again, left foot pressing into the ground, right thigh turning in towards the midline, and spine extending out of the pelvis. Lift the chest, curve in the low back. One more deep breath here. Good. I'm going to get back on my hands, back on the toes, lift the right knee, and press back into a plank. Good. Stretch out that left leg a little bit. Now, same thing on the right side. I'm going to draw my right knee to my right wrist and walk that left knee back. Lower it down. Good. Same thing with the right foot, driving into the mat with the shoelace side of your foot. Now, with the left thigh, I'm going to turn the top of my left thigh into my midline. Okay, so it's kind of a little twist with my thigh. Good, now I'm going to feel that left hip start to move forward. That's what we want. Okay, engagement in both feet, sliding the hip down. Good, check the curve in our low back. If I'm creating space in my hips with my foot and my thigh, now I can really get that curve in my low back and I can lift the chest. You're going to feel comfortable being here with your muscles engaged and keeping you stable. 2 more deep breaths into the belly. Good. Go ahead and make sure the hands are in the mat. Get up on your left toes, lift the hips, straighten into plank. Nice, 2 deep breaths here. And lower both knees to the ground. We're in tabletop. I'm going to reach out with my left hand. Just to give us a little bit of a stretch, I'm going to take my right leg back. And exhale back down. Same thing, I'm going to kick out with my left foot. Right arm reaches. 2 deep breaths. And back down. Good job. We're going to go into Pigeon Round 2. Now on this round, we can start to work folding forward. So once I have that space in my hips, I can start to lengthen and fold forward. Okay, let's get into pigeon one more time. From plank, take a deep breath, right knee, let's go left knee, we did right already. So left knee to left wrist, pushing the top of the left foot into the ground, lowering that right knee. Good. Walk that right knee back a little bit. Now from here I'm going to internally rotate the right thigh. I should be able to get a curve in my low back. Now here I'm going to start to walk my hands down to my forearms. You can stay here. Keep driving with your left foot. And once I start to feel a little bit looser, I can start to bring my forehead to the mat. Now it's very important to drive your left foot into the ground, internally rotate that right thigh to get space in your hips to move forward. You can start to engage the shoulders here. Nice curve in the low back. In this pose, I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. If you don't get here, that's okay. If you're here or even on your forearms, that's still good. All right, let's get back on our hands, back on the back toes, lift the hips, press back into plank. Going over to the right side, right knee, right wrist. Flexing the foot, walking the left leg back. Good. From here, remember the internal rotation. Top of the left thigh turns into the midline. Good. Lots of space in my hips now. I can start to work my forearms down to the ground. One more deep breath. Good, let's get back on the hands. Lift the hips, straighten out the legs. All right, let's come out of plank. We're gonna rotate onto the back. We're gonna rotate onto the back, feet together in butterfly. So one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Take 5 deep breaths into the belly. As you finish up your breathing, I want to thank you for showing up on your mat and practicing here at the Art of Yoga Project. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.